seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Okay, tell me if you can relate. You've been doing the self-growth work for a while. You are self-aware. You are aware of the concepts of limiting belief and a powerful, positive mindset. You've heard about high vibes. You've done some healing work, yet still you feel like you're not moving forward. You've shared all the Instagram quotes. You know about the present moment, but still you're feeling like you're not moving into your manifestations, and you feel frustrated. You feel annoyed. And if you see one more quote about just remember to be positive, the law of attraction is sending you more things back, the next time you see that, you might explode going, I know, I've been doing this work forever. What the heck? So if you can relate to this or any part of this, this is one of the barriers to manifestation that we're going to talk about today, aka blocks. This is one common block that I see that I've definitely experienced, and I'm going to help you break down what this feels like to really be in it, what's going on, and even your first step to move out of this. And if you don't relate to that one, I know you're going to relate to one of the other four because they are genuinely the most common blocks I see that are stopping us from manifestation unintentionally and stopping you from being able to move forward. I can't wait to dive into that. But before we do, hello, hey, welcome. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. Welcome to my cozy little corner of the internet. It's got beanbag chairs and probably incense burning, and it's quite the vibe. I am so excited you're here. Welcome to the party. On this show, we talk about all things in the awakening journey, manifesting, healing, rising up into our full potential, developing our intuition, and really creating the life that we see in our mind's eye. So I love quantum manifestation and the healing journey and all of these different aspects that come into place to really have you complete your transformation, because I know that you have already gone through many transformations and you are on the precipice of something massive. You've already stepped into massive things and you're so ready for that next level. So I'm excited you're here. This episode is going to be really good about this. We're going to talk about these blocks. We're going to dismantle them and really help you to move through. So if you don't know, I also have a second show. It's called On the Path. It is also a podcast, but this one is a private podcast and it's actually a subscription podcast. So what we do is it's really breaking down the work in tangible bite-sized chunks. We have weekly assignments, deep dive episodes. We have monthly challenges from everything from money manifestation to having a deeper connection with our body, and of course, manifestation. It's what it's focused around, manifestation and self-growth work to really have you move forward in your life. On the Path also houses my entire methodology, signature meditations. There is so much there to build a daily practice, to learn, to deepen your study, to deepen your self-growth work, and constantly be moving forward into those dreams, goals, desires. I got your back. I literally talk to you as if you're my client. We're breaking it down. We're moving you forward. It's the place to be if you're really ready to implement the work. So that is called On the Path. The link is below. And other than that, have you come and found me on Instagram? I would love to see you. I'd love to connect. It is at Talia Joy Manifestation, and that link is also below. I do all the Instagram things over there, you know, the reels, the stuff. It's a great place to be up to date on workshops and experiences and ways to work together. It's the place, the kind of everyday hangout place. I'd love to see you over there. So come say hi. Okay, so we're going to dive into the barriers to manifestation. And I plan on doing a second part to this, which is the momentum builders to manifestation, because there we need to be looking at both. We need to be building momentum, but a huge part of the process is the unblocking process. You really can't get away without doing this, which is exactly what we're talking about today. So I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you've been drawn to manifestation, because this is that, as I say, that is that process. We start somewhere, we have desires, we need to become unblocked, and then we can move into embodying and momentum and fully receiving. So such an important part that can't be overlooked. So first of all, I want to say that the way that this experience works and the way that I have come to know what life is, being a channel, also being a student of life, practicing this and studying the law of attraction literally since I was 14. At 14, I don't know if it was studying, but I was reading so many books. The Secret hadn't even been close to coming out yet. It was really before that. And I found Wayne Dyer, and it just was this whole self-growth journey early on. So I've been reading and working with this work for a long time. And the way that I see this whole experience and what I know to be true is there is a continuous flow of wellness and happiness and abundance that is available to you right now. So this is the flow from life force, from the energies, from God, from universe, and it truly is abundant. The way that nature is abundant, that same flow moves through us. Abundance doesn't only mean money, it means blessings and life and vitality and life force. And everything that you desire can absolutely become manifested. Like it's just things, it's frequencies, it's money, it's experiences. It can absolutely be created. And the more you learn to work with the energies this is what I'm all about. This is in everything I teach and all my programs is learning to work with the universe, work with the flow of life while also mastering the mind, which is more what we're talking about today, because that has to be something that it is the thing that unlocks us to this infinite flow. So there's an infinite flow. It is your birthright to be abundant, meaning you are a child of this earth. You have equal say and ability and worthiness to become abundant, especially you. You're an amazing person. You would do amazing things and will do amazing things with overflowing abundance. So you're allowed, it's your birthright. But the problem is without realizing it, we block ourselves. And blocks, why I decided to call them like barriers to manifestation is because we're never really truly blocked. But the way we see something or the way our mind operates, usually is the thing that blocks us. And it unintentionally blocks our success every day, just with these thoughts, with these patterns, with these beliefs. So when you hear limiting beliefs, they're beliefs that limit us. So if you're saying like, I will never get a job because the job market sucks, that is a belief. If someone was like, does the job market suck or is it awesome? You're like, it sucks because of this and this and this. That is a belief that limits you. So these things cause barriers to manifestation that block us from being a clear channel between where we are now and what we want. So getting what we want or experiencing what we want isn't really about all the stuff we have to do. It's more about releasing the barriers and stepping into and starting to live what is our birthright, which is more happy and in clarity and abundance and in that flow. So these quote unquote limiting beliefs are sneaky, and they are beliefs that limit us. They filter our perception. So our reticular activating system in our brain literally filters our reality to mold to what our beliefs are so that we stay happy and feeling safe and nothing overly challenges us. Think of the Truman Show, right? You keep them in a box, so he doesn't lose it by really actually absorbing the fullness of what's going on. Anyway, I digress. But our brain will filter our experience based on what we believe. So simple beliefs that, they're not your fault. They're usually given by society, by your upbringing, nobody with malice or ill intent. It's just the way it works. We grow up learning limitations, but this becomes the problem. So the other thing before I dive into these 5 blocks that I want you to understand is that your mind creates your reality. You've heard this, but we really want to make sure that it sinks in. So when you're caught up in a mindset that blocks you or causes this resistance, these barriers, manifestations feel distant, you feel frustrated, you feel stuck, you're usually in repetitive patterns and habits that are unwanted, but you can't seem to get out because there is this loop going on, right? So that is when we are in these barriers, totally fine. We're all human. I see myself in all of them. I experience them. It's all good. But when we get into a manifestation mindset, which is the core, it's the key, we start to dissolve these things, dissolve these these blocks and start to manifest on autopilot, because it's literally just the way that we perceive the world. So I'm going to touch on this in this episode, is getting into that manifestation mindset instead of the one of lack or of limits and of these blocks that we're going to talk about. So good news, you're here. I'm excited. And if you want to dive deeper with this, I actually just created a free guide. It's a free PDF called Manifestation Mindset Makeover. I'll put the link below. That's a mouthful. It's a free guide and you can go through these blocks yourself and take those first steps. So the link is below for the Manifestation Mindset Makeover free guide. Okay, so the first barrier to manifestation, these aren't in any particular order because they all exist in all of us. We all have tendencies. So it's not number one is actually number one, but the first one we're going to cover is lack. So I know you've heard this before, and I want you to come to this with an open heart and an open mind to hear something new, to hear it in a way that allows you to move forward. So a lack mindset is what it looks like, first of all, before we talk about what's actually going on, but what it looks like, first of all, is you experience a lack of time, lack of money, lack of resources to do the things you want. You constantly feel like there's not enough support, there's not enough information. I don't know, I don't have enough time, I don't know how to do that. So lack really means like lack of, the absence of. So in your mind and in your world, you're constantly feeling blocked and stopped by not enough in some form or another, right? Not enough support, not enough money, not enough time, not enough resources, not enough information, all these things that I'm talking about. So you're going to be feeling stuck and you're going to be feeling blocked and in some ways powerless, not powerless over everything in your life, but over this place, right? It's like, I don't even know what to do. Frustrated, angry, maybe, right? We're just stuck in not enough. We're stuck in a deficit and we feel like we can't get out of it. So the manifestation mindset fix that we need, and the thing you need to understand on an even deeper level, is that by focusing on what you don't have, you can only ever attract more of the same. I know you've heard this, but this is where we have to get real. And I'm going to take you through first steps, but we have to acknowledge that is true. Even though it feels like there's not enough money, not enough time. I, first of all, can totally relate to this one. 100%. Most of my clients, we can all relate. But instead, we need to learn how to focus on the simple blessings that are already around you, on the simple things that you do have. And I have lots of, hacks for this. We talk about this on The Path, on the other podcast, about seeing the evidence, about recounting your blessings or your gratitude, seeing what you do have, seeing what you have done. And this isn't to override, but as these feelings of lack come up, we work on alchemizing our energy, feeling the feelings, but then coming back to the fact that there is abundance around you in all forms, in some forms, focusing on the plus. This is a huge part of what I help my clients do. This is a miracle mindset, but truly, focusing on the plus, focusing on rewriting the story in your mind, because at the end of the day, the universal laws state that if all you're seeing is what you don't have, you can't get out of that box. And I say this because I love you. I say this because I want this to work out for you and because I am a mentor and a teacher and I know what this one feels like. So your first step for the lack mindset is to every day write down 5 to 10 micro, you can go macro, but little blessings. So note the dime you found or that extra little bonus or, the extra 10 minutes you got in the house of quiet when all the kids were playing or no one was home for a few minutes. Noticing the client that did reach out to you or the increase in your views on Instagram or the, unexpected blessings when you went to the store and half the things you wanted were on sale. Really pick the small, tangible, like we don't have to part the clouds and try to break you out of this mindset. It's actually starting to retrain your reticular activating system, the filter, to actually see like, no, there's good things around. Life isn't all bad. We want to stop focusing on the lack. We will work on manifesting more money. We'll work on creating more time. But for now, endlessly focusing on it won't help. So first step, every day, write down 5 to 10 little blessings that you experienced or have that are the opposite of lack. money you found, income, support received, any signs that you got, which shows you're supported, anything like that that you're grateful for. And then with money, look at the abundance that is already around you and look at how your phone costs money and the food in your fridge and the $11 Starbucks you got this morning. No judgment. Let's look at the abundance that is around. So a beautiful mantra for you is there is always enough. Abundance is everywhere in many different forms. Again, if you want to pick up the free guide that goes through this and all the blocks, the link is below for that. So in this lack mindset, when you fixate on what you're missing, you're basically telling the universe, more of this, please, even though we don't want to be. We don't want to be doing it. We don't even realize. It's okay. Take yourself off the hook. No blame. But when we endlessly fixate on what is missing, we can only attract more of the same. So if you're stuck in that loop of feeling like you don't have enough money, don't have enough support, guess what? It's time to catch yourself on those thoughts, gently redirect yourself back to thoughts of a manifestation mindset, seeing the little blessing, seeing the leaves on the trees as abundance, and just gently redirecting the busy mind and starting to focus more on what you do have. Okay. The next barrier to manifestation, number 2, is what I call knowing all the things. And this is the one I was talking about in the intro. What this looks like is you've read a ton of books, you've done a lot of workshops, you know a lot of quotes, you know a lot of things. You are maybe in the conversation of spiritual or self-growth going like, oh yeah, and this and this and this, and you know it. And I'm not saying that you're like a stereotypical know-it-all. It's not about that. It's more about that you know a ton of wisdom. You're very self-aware. You've done a lot of the work, but still you feel stuck. Right? Even though you try to practice gratitude and try to do these things, you still feel stuck. So what it's going to feel like is this frustration, confusion, feeling a bit stuck. Again, a bit of that powerlessness because you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do. I know the things, but I don't know what to do, right? I know this one well. Maybe second guessing it all, second guessing the law of attraction or self-growth, or if it even works, if it's worth it, right? If all the work is really worth it. Maybe feeling comparison or exhaustion for it all, exhaustion in self-growth. So the manifestation mindset fix here that we want to really focus on is instead of thinking like, oh, I know that already, when you're listening to a podcast or a course that you've taken, or you're listening to someone talk, a YouTube video or an Instagram thing or something, instead of thinking, I know that already, open your mind and actually ask yourself, and open your mind, I don't mean that in judgment. It's like open up in there and ask if you've actually been implementing what you've been learning. So sometimes we get a closed mindset with good intentions, and it prevents us from being open to new ideas or seeing the same principle on another level. So something like be the change or embodiment, what that meant to you 5 years ago is different than now. And you might have to revisit it in 6 months and go, oh yeah, be the change. Oh yeah, embodiment. Because these are the same lessons. I say this all the time to my clients. Often it's the most foundational principle that is forgotten in the endless search for shiny new information. So if you've been in a lot of the work, you either could get support on implementation and kind of organizing it all, a mentor. This is a lot of what I do. But really, you want to ask yourself, have I been implementing the things I've been learning? Have I been really seeing how I can learn the same lessons on an even deeper level, right? Self-love, healing, self-compassion, bravery, inspired action. You can still continue doing these on deeper and deeper levels. Welcome to my life, truly, the same lessons over and over. So it doesn't mean we're not getting it. It actually means we're ready for deeper embodiment of the lesson. We're ready to go deeper and double down on the daily practice, on our energetics, on the things that we know. So the first step in this one is remind yourself that you don't need new information. You need to double down on implementation. So if you're going to put energy into something, it's into the daily practice. If you're going to invest in something, it's someone to help you implement. It's not always new information. So of course, if you work with a mentor or a coach, you're going to have breakthroughs. You're going to keep growing, of course, but you already do know a lot. Maybe you just need help with the implementation, right? So anyway, having a mindset of curiosity and openness when you are listening to things like this or in a webinar or doing whatever, sometimes even with my business, and I, crack open a training and they start talking about a basic sales funnel and I'm like, oh my God, I've heard this so many times, but where could I implement a more efficient funnel in my own business, right? There you go. Be a student. Stay a student. Circle back to what you've already learned and seek fresh perspectives. Dive into books, courses, podcasts, mentors with a very open mindset. The best experiences that I have with clients are honestly ones that usually have this block because they've gone through so much of the work, so self-aware, and then they're also open. It's like the favorite place ever. When you stay open, you're really susceptible to being able to move forward fast because you've already done so much of the work. So with this, the actual first step is to realize you don't need more information. You need more implementation. Continue to have a mindset of curiosity, seek fresh perspectives, and question any current beliefs that you're in that may be restricting you. Focus on your vibration, focus on your self-care, and implementing what you already know. And if you want help with implementation on the path, that second podcast is truly the place to be for that broken down education podcast. It's so, so good. So the link for that is below. So the third one we're going to talk about now is sneaky negativity. So what this looks like is, although you consider yourself a mostly positive person, you can sometimes have like a sarcastic or a negative energy running through you. So you might start to catch yourself, or you might be totally aware or maybe not aware of making negative comments about yourself, self-deprecating humor, maybe like, well, we're all fucked anyway, but you really actually kind of mean it because you've got that darkness in you. The darkness in me sees the darkness in you, especially with humor. But sometimes you can have this sort of negative slant on things, and ultimately you're not surprised when things fall through or opportunities crumble. So that it also feels like things don't fully work out. And when they don't, you're not surprised. So you may say you're positive, but really deep down, you have this sneaky, pessimistic negativity that comes out like the cards are sort of stacked against you. Maybe people let you down. You've got a shell. Again, no judgment. I see myself in this too. I've had lots of beautiful clients that experience this. This is being human, and it's totally okay. So in this, the fix that we need is that the subtle negativity is a deeper sign. It's a sign of deeper limiting beliefs. So no matter what you try to portray on the outside or how you try to be positive, if these negative feelings are inside, if you continually feel let down, what you believe is what you receive. So it is time to shift into a deeper, optimistic or gratitude-filled mindset to receive more blessings. So start to be aware on the surface that your language creates your life. So again, permission to be funny, permission to be a little dark, it's all good, but your language truly does create your life. So try to have the intention behind it of humor or whatever, but also just be careful of where you're in a sneaky way being overly negative. So really just realizing that. And your first step here is to become more aware of this negative, sneaky language. And as soon as you notice it, just don't fuel it. Just kind of let your foot off the gas. Notice if you're complaining or you're kind of making a, passive aggressive comment at life or whatever. Take a deep breath and just even you could just say like, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm sure we'll be fine. Or just anything to soften a little bit, just to show yourself really. Of course, it's the universe, but it's also showing yourself that like, I don't really mean it because I don't really want to put that out into the universe, right? I don't really want to put that out into life. So each time you catch it, just become aware and either spin it into like openness or self-compassion or a dash of optimism. And also when you feel like things aren't working out, Remind yourself that you've got your back. Double down on self-love and the things that feel like they personally move you forward to start to feel like life is panning out, even if that just means going for more walks or making a small positive change. Really just starting to focus more on the good and starting to ensure your success and ensure you're moving forward. And when you catch yourself in sort of dark, negative language, just gently redirect yourself with a JK universe, as just kidding, right? So a mantra that works well for me with this is just reminding myself things are working out for me. Even if I'm nervous or fearful, there must be a way. Or sometimes when something happens, I'm like, there's got to be something good in this for me because that was challenging. Even spinning it like that ends it on a more open note where you're not creating a barrier to manifestation, because that's really what we're talking about. This sneaky negativity is often a protection mechanism to deal with the fact that you can feel like nothing's panning out or things, have been hard, and rightly so, they probably have. So giving yourself compassion, honoring your feelings, focusing on being open to possibilities, and just that gentle reframe. Okay, so the fourth of 5, the fourth barrier to manifestation is pushing and hustle. So what this looks like is it's all you figuring it out on your own, doing it on your own. You're always wondering how you're going to do it all. The idea of surrender might make you feel anxious or make you want to throw up in your hands. No, but really it's like you're in that go, go, go. You're stressing about the outcome potentially, maybe focusing overly on the how it's all going to happen. And when things don't work out, you can feel frustrated or devastated or stressed, right? It's this pushing energy. So you might not be all of those traits, but when you feel like you have to figure it out. And I notice this in myself when I feel like I don't know what my next step is, if it's with health or healing or my business. And sometimes I can get into, what should I do? And I got to figure it out. So if you notice yourself in that is pushing or hustle. So what it feels like is a lot of pressure, worry, control. There might be perfectionism, maybe a little type A personality going on there, some micromanaging, anxiety, feeling immense effort. And also, this is something I see that I hear in my clients and I've felt before. If I don't do it, no one else will. So this may be real. You may be a single parent or in a situation where if you don't do it, nobody else will. But these are all symptoms of also feeling the pressure and the sort of, when this is a barrier, you'll also feel that way. So the manifestation mindset fix here is realizing that this energy leaves no space for support from humans or from the universe. So when you hold your hand up and say, no thanks, I've got this, pushing, you are saying that also to abundance, to success, to your intuition, to the support that is trying to come through life to you. So when you've got your head down and you're pushing and you're hustling, you're not open or receptive. You may take a lot of action or you may just like bulldoze your way through, but you're not remembering to be guided by your intuition. This isn't about throwing spaghetti at the wall nonstop, right? We want to dance with the universe. We want to create a spaghetti sauce. We got to have the different ingredients. Okay, I'm just maybe hungry with that one. But it's not just about pushing and hustling and figuring it out. We also want to remember to be guided, because some things take effort. Building a business, raising children, being a human, let's be real. It takes effort and it's draining and it's hard, but it's not all on our shoulders. This is the signal to open up, to learn the idea of gentle surrendering or being, open to guidance, not so much pushing and hustling, more about alignment and flow. So the first step here is to relax, take a deep breath, and practice small acts of faith, trust, surrender, all that jazz, while also asking for more support. This could be from humans. This could be asking the universe for your next step. Just taking a beat, taking a second. We know you're not afraid of hard work. We know you want to move forward, and you will. But this is where we practice faith and trust and just taking our foot off the gas for a minute. Also, this could be delegation, asking for help from people, in our experience, asking for that support. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor, and it could be, as I say, the universe asking for your next step. So practice taking time off to relax without a plan. Whether that's in your business or a life plan, what am I going to do next? I got to overcome, I got to heal, I have an endless to-do list. Just take a moment to take a beat. And if you're unsure what to do, panic acting will not get you anywhere. So it's time to hang back, consult your intuition before panic acting, and request help from your guides, from your community, from a mentor, from people around you, instead of just bulldozing forward. I know what that looks like. I know that in business, like I'm just going to keep doing stuff, but with no general, bigger understanding. And at a time came when the house of cards fell and I had to build it back up from the beginning and going, okay, what is the vision and how do I want to create a solid foundation? So same with you in your health, in your career, in your business, in your own energy. Sometimes just pushing and hustling forward is just not going to do anything. It creates more barrier because you're not open to be guided to your next step, which is also in your highest path, in your highest direction. Instead, you're just head down hustling. So I want to put this mantra out there for you. I surrender the hustle. I trust the universe has my back. Guides, angels, humans, help me to release control. I'm open to being led. So this is the place where we move out of pushing. And it's time to ground down, to rise up, to loosen the grip, to allow yourself to be led. This is truly where we move into more of an aligned action, aligned movement moving forward rather than just pushing and hustling. So if you want help with this, I actually have an incredible Magnetize Your Goals mini course, which is just 4 simple steps to take you through aligned action, writing down aligned goals, moving forward in a better feeling way. If you really still want to move forward, but don't want to do it in that way, right here, it's $37. It's usually $222, so I'd be happy to pass that on. I'll put the link below if you want help with pushing and hustle and you want to move forward in a strategic way. Okay, the last block, the last barrier to manifestation, number 5, is future tripping. So what this looks like is worry consumes you. You're worried about the future. You're worried about what if this happens? What if that happens? What if everything crumbles? What if they laugh at you? What if it fails? It's never going to work. Future tripping out about the future, right? Projecting a negative outcome on the future, creating that feeling right now as if it's already happened. You're already feeling the failure and it hasn't even happened. So what this feels like is anxiety, worry, suffering, can't make a decision easily. Maybe changing your mind, things not going smoothly, tripping balls about the future. This is another one that I know well. As I say, I can see myself in all of these. So the manifestation mindset fix that we need, and we need to realize that future tripping only increases the chance of a negative outcome. It causes a ton of anxiety in the meantime, and it's ultimately a choice. It's a choice that leads to worry. So this is where I want to say, fear and faith are both the same emotion, but one is projecting a negative outcome, fear, and one is projecting a positive outcome, faith. So we take a moment and we go, do I want to proceed with fear or faith? One, like we're moving into the future either way. One is anticipating something bad to happen and one is anticipating something good. So really starting to realize that future tripping doesn't do you any good. It doesn't make you make clear, smart decisions anyway. So right now you're setting yourself up for less success. You're basically almost ensuring it happens by future tripping over all the bad things that could happen, right? So as you start to notice this, you might as well anticipate your success. You might as well start to ask yourself, do I want to be stressing and worrying about this? And do I want to anticipate my success or anticipate my failure? It's fine if you're going on a road trip to like have a plan B or have a spare tire. We want to be, quote unquote smart. But when you just start stressing about all these other things, your brain starts giving you more scenarios that could go wrong. It just isn't going to do any good. So anticipate your success. That is so magnetic. That is such a part of the miracle mindset that adds to your magnetism, that adds to your momentum. This helps you to manifest easily versus literally putting a lens of failure onto the future. Please don't do that. So your first step from this is relax into the present moment because you're tripping balls about the future. So relax into the present moment and start to record or write down evidence of success. This is a practice straight from On the Path, evidence of success. Write it down every day. Just a few reasons, 1 to 3 to 5 reasons why your success is inevitable. Any proof that you're moving forward or that you're moving in a favorable direction in any way. So evidence of success, you could say, I am moving forward because 5 years ago, I was much more negative, or I was in, an unhealthy or harmful relationship, or I didn't have any idea of the healing work, and I'm clearly moving in a better direction. Or even though I'm having a bad day right now, I can still see ways that I'm moving forward in my life. Or maybe the evidence of success is I saw a lot of 111s today. I found a dime. I got a bonus. I got kudos from my boss. Little things that are evidence that you are moving forward. Start to retrain your brain out of future tripping and into faith, and start adopting the mentality that, life is always working out. You always have and somehow will work it out, figure it out. My success is inevitable. This one is so powerful. So these are the 5 most common barriers to entry, barriers to manifestation, also known as blocks. You've got number 1, lack. Number 2, knowing all the things. Number 3, sneaky negativity. Number 4, pushing and hustle. And number 5, future tripping. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to take me up on any of the things I mentioned, they're all in the show notes. We've got On the Path, Magnetize Your Goals, the mini course, and a few other things that I mentioned here. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you, Seeker. You're doing such a great job. And to grab this free PDF to go through this yourself, the Manifestation Mindset Makeover, the link for that as well is below. Okay, I will see you in the next episode, and I will see you around. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode. It truly means a lot, and I really, really hope that it served you. I invite you to check out the show notes. There's all sorts of action down there, including the Awakening Her daily practice, which is a beautiful daily practice to process your emotions and manifest what it is that you want. In the show notes, you'll also find the Awakening Her Manifesting Apparel store, how to reach me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as some one-to-one opportunities. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next episode.